All right. Sorry for all of the craziness and everything going on today. As I at least mentioned last week and on Twitter, I'm heading to Texas tomorrow, or I'll be at the racetrack tomorrow. I'm driving there later tonight. I'm trying to get, or at least I'm here now, so I'm getting all the Xfinity Series stuff up. I'm going to get the Cup Series up as soon as qualifying is over. I'll probably end this show uh, after like 30 minutes or so. By that point, Cup Series should be in qualifying. I'll probably be finishing my Xfinity Series lines then. Pretty much probably when the Xfinity Series starts, I'm going to go live and talk the Cup Series tomorrow and stuff. And then when all that's over, I'm just going to pack for a couple days and then skedaddle on up 45 to Fort Worth and stuff. When we look at the Xfinity Series race today, also, I have like everything running at once right now. I got the scraper going. I got like 37 tabs open. So if I'm like looking around a lot, that's why. I also have the
One bad day can
need to
really
be able to
the
hear
game changer.
the Cup Series stuff. If it's echoing through the mic or anything, let me know. When we look at this race here, what I did was project a lot of people to end up running and finishing pretty much kind of where they're starting. When we look at the practice laps and stuff, I went ahead and removed Lane Riggs. He only did 2. I didn't want that really messing up the laps. Like when he averaged it out, he was like second fastest. He only did 2 laps and then he spun out. So we're not. I just removed those from here so we could actually be able to see everything in general. And a lot of things pretty much line up with. Oh, it is echoing. Am I? Let me hold on. Let me. Because that doesn't help me at all. The laps, like when he averaged it out, he was like second fastest. He only did 2 laps and then he spun out, so we're not. I just removed those from here so we could actually be able to see everything. Oh, it's because I had desktop audio on. That's why. Sorry about that. I was like, I got my volume at like 2, yeah. So shouldn't be echoing anymore. Anywho, when we, yeah, that's not an echo, my guy. That's just bleed through. Come on now. We got to use our correct words, man. When we look at a lot of these laps compared with the averages, they line up pretty evenly. What is yeah, there we go. Okay. It's because like, never mind. Anywho, a lot of the practice laps line up directly with the 5-lap runs, and where I'm looking at, like, practice speed is a pretty good indication of where you're going to be running and stuff. So, like, for example, like a lot of the main guys in the teens, I have losing positions. Like when we look at like Clements, I have him like losing 3 positions. I have Sammy Smith gaining like 2. I have Gralla losing like 1. Ryan Sieg losing like 2. Parker gaining like 1. Sage Karam losing 4. Like Brennan Poole gaining 1. Somewhere around there, you know. And so like a lot of these guys aren't getting anywhere fucking close to value. When we look at the value, like it's pretty rough. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys at a 4.8 or above. Because I don't believe there's going to be a lot of passing in this race. Texas is a very difficult track for a lot of these teams. We see the huge discrepancy in speed just in qualifying alone, but you can see it in practice as well. Secondly, we have a lot of yellows here at let me read this. We have a lot of yellows here at Texas, specifically in the Xfinity Series. It is one of the like biggest like high percentage crash races out there, and so I think you have to project everybody who starts from 30th on back to gain at least 4 or 5 positions. So, like, I have Ryan Ellis, you know, projected to finish like 26th. I have Earnhardt projected to score like 30th. I think you have to build that into your projections or your approach here. And so when I say that, I think punting in this race, I think that is very, very viable. Specifically when I want to chase Allgaier, Trevor Bayne, Austin Hill, John Nemechek. Like, I want to chase guys who I know are going to be running top 5. I think there's a good chance that Nemechek and or Hill can take the lead on pit lane at some point. I think we're going to see Trevor Bayne get quite a lot of fast laps and potentially lead laps. Well, potentially is a very soft way of saying that, because you could say that for anybody. My primary lap leaders are Bane and Allgaier, and I think these guys have a good chance of swapping that on the racetrack. But Hill and Nemechek have a good chance of taking that lead on the on pit lane. When we come up to Lane Riggs, I know everybody's going to ask about that. I'm going to lean to not playing a lot of him. Starting 38th, yes, Lane Riggs has a ton of talent, but there's a situation where I mentioned this, and like, look, I play a lot of Lane Riggs in the Truck Series, but this is a situation where you get somebody who's a rookie who is at a very difficult track. Like, Texas is rough for a lot of people. We have veterans who struggle here a lot, and you give him like a really fast car. That's a good way to get people in trouble. Stepped out on him in practice. I don't believe he's going to destroy the car here, but I think we're probably going to see Lane Riggs probably run anywhere from like 23rd to 28th. And as long as he's not getting near 40 points, I mean, he needs like, what, 36, 38 to be optimal, somewhere around there. Not 35. It'd probably be like 38, somewhere around there. I have him scoring like 32, 30, and I would much rather build chasing guys who are going to finish in the top 5, specifically with how shitty a lot of these people project to do DraftKings-wise. I'd rather just chase raw points than chase Lane Riggs starting 38th. That's where I'm at. So I'm going to be underweight on Lane Riggs because I'm trying to jam in as many people up here as possible. A lot of my early lineups are looking like, Allgaier, Jeb Burton, Austin Hill, and then punting with and it's not even going like in the punt range, but playing like J.J. Yeley starting 31st, and situations like that. But I really want to pay up for a lot of these people in this race. Thank you, David. Even here, like I think I am gonna show the projections here just to illustrate what I'm talking about. So when we look here, we look at a lot of these. This is what I'm looking at here for a lot of these guys, because I think this is an interesting race. Like, you can see that I don't got anybody projecting to do absolute anything. Like, this is nothing. This is an ugly. This is wild, man. This is fucking nuts. I think there's like 8 players to play in this race, and Lane Riggs being a huge emphasis of construction of either do you play him or do you not. I'm leaning towards not, and like, I want to try and jam in Sheldon Creed. I want to try and get Jeb Burton. I want to try and get in Nemechek. I want to try and get in these guys here. I think this just explains where I'm at in the Xfinity Series race, and I don't believe we're going to have people approach it that aggressively. And then, like, if we get fucking wrecks, then it just negates a lot of any effort really put into any of these projections and stuff. But this is where I'm at today, and like, as you can see, like, I don't have literally anybody project to hit value today. Today is just a raw points total. I think it's going to be very difficult for like I think it's very difficult for like Barry to get the lead and like do anything. Jones to get the lead and do anything. Chandler Smith, Herbst, like, I don't have anybody in this race really doing anything. And so I think any approach you want to do is going to work. Yeah, this is where I'm at today. Like, when you look at 5-lap runs, it's the guys that we normally see, but like, Barry is not going to be faster than Bane and Allgaier. He's just not going to be there. He's already a 10th off here. He's already pretty substantially off compared to Trevor Bane. I mean, like, look, the 200ths here migrates to 2/10 here. Like, this is pretty significant here. And like, even these laps, like, yeah, sure, Barry ran long because they wanted to run him long, but like, Austin Hill also ran long. Like, Austin Hill, why are we focusing on Josh Berry, running his 17 laps or whatever the fuck he ran in practice, to where like RCR is out here running, they're here for the long haul. They're here for the long race. Like, these are the guys that I want to target here. And so that's kind of where I'm at today. I think I'm going to be very aggressive on targeting guys up front and really just skipping the mid pack outside of Creed, Jeb, and guys like that, man. And then I might end up on Lane Riggs just because I might be able to afford him. Just right now, it seems to me like I'd rather just pay a lot of the guys who are going to give me, 50. Bane and Allgaier are probably scoring like mid to high 60s. Trying to get as many guys who are going to score 50s as possible. Nemechek, Creed, and I think he'll probably fall into that category. Because of that, I just don't see myself laying on Riggs a lot. But that's kind of where I'm at here. This track is so fucking wild, dude. This track is so shit. It'd be awesome if they turned this into another Atlanta. I'd love like 7 super speedways, dude. And that shit rules. But yeah, I think everybody's probably gonna like project everybody to do kind of shitty today, like really not gain or lose a ton of positions. That's where the crashes come in. Like I can't project who's gonna wreck in this race. We're gonna have probably 3 substantial wrecks here at Texas in this Xfinity Series race. That probably take out 5 cars on the back straightaway. And then we're probably gonna have an instant involving 3 cars out of turn 4 at some point. And then we're probably going to have like a late caution on like a restart entering 1 that sends like 4 people up the track. And so you have like, probably 6 cars that don't finish this race minimum. Whereas we very quickly look at, good old past race and reference races. And we look at the good old Tejas. Let's find some Texas very fast. Rip Texas World. Look at that. We'll go to COVID. We will go to 2020. So like here we go. Just everybody fucking dies. Here we go. That's pretty significant. Here we go here. That's, a good amount of cars DNF'd. Good amount of cars running laps down. Like just the fucking disgusting field. Half the field isn't even here. Like this is huge. Texas is just fucking wild, man. So like it's you got to just throw projections out, to be honest with you. Like, that's why I just showed you the guys. Like, standalone race, this race goes green, nobody passes anybody, We look at good cars being involved in well, this doesn't matter. He got DQ'd. Who gives a fuck about that? But, like, Herp's involved in an instant here. That was on lap 4. It says he finished 9. This crash happened on lap 4. This is out of turn 4. Oddly enough, one of my friends, Sean, yesterday was like, man, I'd love to see somebody hit one of them foam barriers because the IMS logo goes over the safer barrier. And I was like, yeah, man, somebody has hit that. It was Riley Herbst, probably like a year ago, 2 years ago or something. Hit out of turn 4 with the rear end. It was right out of turn 4, and he was like, dude, that was a race in 2020. How did you remember that? But we look at good cars here. Ryan Sieg, Riley Herbst, Austin Hill, Allgaier, Brandon Jones, all the fucking good guys. Every car that you would play is killed in this race. This race here, we have nobody important here. So all good cars survive. Nobody important here. Just Gregson's involved in a crash here. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, dude, Texas is just fucking wild, man. This is a wild crash. Or wild race. So yeah, my approach and a lot of what my early stuff is saying is just jam in Allgaier, Bain, Creed, Burton, try and get in some Austin Hill, try and get in Nemechek, get as many of those guys in your lineups as possible. That's the approach that I'm going. If I land on Lane Riggs, I'll play him. I would prefer to not build to where I land on that. I think he has a high likelihood of eclipsing probably a 22nd place finish. However, I think he's probably going to be one of the highest owned drivers in this race due to the sheer amount that nobody projects to do fucking anything. Let's rank these boys by actual projections. We got Lane Riggs. There's a real chance that he argues for a top 10 score. A lot of these guys are dependent on getting fast laps and laps led. So, realistically alone, Lane Riggs has a real chance of being like the 6th to 7th highest scoring guy. in this race. But we look at the sheer amount of like how close these guys are projected from pretty much Josh Berry being at 40 projected points to let's use 20 for Kyle Sieg. Like, this is a huge amount of guys who are going to be scoring identical today. I just want to try and get as many of these guys in as possible. I mean, that's really it. I don't really have any questions to answer or anything here. So, probably going to end this one. I'll go live maybe like 20 minutes post Cup Series qualifying, just to get that out of the way so you guys have something, or at least my opinions on stuff. I won't show the projections for the Cup Series, but I envision it's probably going to be pretty similar. I don't think we're going to see much passing in that race outside of cautions and stuff. It should go pretty green. It should be pretty fucking boring, despite the fact we had, we had Cody Ware nearly die last year. We had Alex Bowman with just his horrific crash that sidelined him for a good amount of races and stuff. But yeah, like if people qualify up front, I have a high likelihood of focusing and playing those guys in both these races today. So I'm gonna head off, and I will see you guys in a few hours for the Cup Series video. Thank you very much for being here and supporting me and joining me on your Saturday. Peace out.